In this video, I will be reviewing yet another product. This time, I will be reviewing the Totalman 4 all-day stretcher. It's a very simple device, but super important, super useful for a lot of different use cases. So I'll go ahead and show you what I think about this product, do a product overview, including pricing, how it compares to other products in regards to pricing, and I also be comparing it to the original Totalman 4, which I've literally used for years, so much that it even has rust on the little metal parts, and the best extender for ADS, which I've actually reviewed in another video, but I'll go ahead and compare it, put them head to head on this in this video. So I'll give you all my thoughts, how I use an ADS, give you some insights into my routine. It's going to be a very short but interesting video, so let's get started. All right, so let's go ahead and do a brief product overview. So this is the Totalman shop website. So this is what's called the leg band, also known as an all-day stretcher. The reason that this is very specific is because this is only one portion of what you need to do an all-day stretcher. So in order to actually do a proper all-day stretcher, you need the leg band and a vacuum cup. So you need a vacuum cup just like this. This is the Totalman 4 vacuum cup. That's essentially the other part that you need. So keep in mind that you must already have a vacuum cup or purchase a vacuum cup along the leg band as well. So I highly recommend the Totalman 1. It's pretty good, or that's the one that I use when using an all-day stretcher. So this is very specific because this is just for the leg. So a lot of these products are based off of the original ones, such as the Fallosan Forte, which are like the ones used in the medical industry for people like with Peyronie's. So the Fallosan Forte, which includes a cup, is $390. Right. The great thing about the Fallosan Forte is that the cup is pretty ergonomic and you can use it without taping. I've never used the Fallosan Forte. I don't know, how well that works. I'm a little skeptical because, my glands are a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if it's going to fit. I'm not sure. I've never tried it, but I think I use a size 4 of the Totalman cups, so I don't know if that works, if that would work for me. It's also pretty expensive, like $390. The other great thing about the Fallosan Forte is that the cup has this little indicator here that essentially tells you how much tension you're using. Yeah, how much tension you're using. Which is really, really nice. Like I really, really like that. And so, however, it's still pretty expensive, and it's just the one. It's pretty cost prohibitive. So this is sort of like the design that a lot of these things use. So this is the leg band. So it's $20, and then you're gonna need a vacuum chamber and some sleeves, and that could essentially you add $20 plus $21 plus $15, and so a proper ADS would cost you around like $60 if you order everything from Totalman. At the very least, I recommend, again, getting multiple cup sizes just so that you get a proper fit. But in this review, I'm just reviewing the leg band. I have reviewed the cup separately before, so I'm only focusing on the leg band. So compare that to some of its competitors, such as the Basim's best extender called the Best All Day Stretcher. And the Best All Day Stretcher runs you at $179 just for the leg band. Now, the cool thing about the leg band is that it actually does have a built-in scale. When I reviewed it, it doesn't have like the numbers printed out, and apparently you have to get the app to actually know how much tension these are using. I don't have the app. I should probably try it out and see, but it would be great to actually know how much tension you're using. But that's one thing that the Best Extender All Day Stretcher has. Now, I reviewed it, and I'll go ahead and compare it in a second. But right off the bat, that does have one thing that's superior from the Best Extender. Keep in mind, this is $179 compared to $20, right? Is it worth it? Well, we'll find out in a second. You can also get this from Pygmalion Physique. This is they call it the retention kit because it's something that you use to basically sort of keep your member extended for long periods of time. It's $16.99, so slightly cheaper. So this is how how these all compare in terms of pricing. So yeah, this is $20. I think it's fairly priced. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do a deep review. Okay, so here we go. So this is the Totalman 4 all day stretcher. So it's basically sort of this somewhat thin leg band here that uses Velcro. So you basically kind of put it on your leg. This has to be facing up towards your pelvis. So you put it on, and then you put the Velcro on here, and you can size it. Essentially, you can just size it and then put it on. The width of the strap is about 1.5 inches. Now compare that to the best extender, which is a whopping 4 inches, right? And compared to the original Totalman leg band is about 3 inches. So it's relatively more ergonomic, definitely a lot slimmer, and you know, it has like the smooth texture. It's a lot more pliable and flexible. The inside of it is not rough. It's like made out of this comfy pad. Next, you have this little joint here, which essentially is what connects the leg band to the strap. Notice how it has like this sort of piece that sticks out, this little plastic piece that rests against your leg, like so, and essentially such that when you're pulling it, you're not pulling directly on the band, but you're actually pulling on this leg piece, which actually on this plastic piece, which essentially connects all the way to the bottom. So when it's flush against it, you're basically kind of just pulling on it a little bit more evenly. So compare this to the original Totalman, where there was no such mechanism. It had this like metal piece here, which was uncomfortable. When you put it on, this piece would rub up on your leg here, and essentially when you're pulling it, even more so, it will like dig it even more. Nevertheless, it was still fairly comfortable. That was sort of the only thing. You could probably put like a sock or something there to sort of stop that discomfort. So before you had like this kind of teeth mechanism here, and that's how you adjusted it. You had to do this. Notice how this is like rusty. I've had this for like 4 years or so already. And compare this to the Best Extender 4, which the attachment is in the middle, which I really didn't like, because what happens is here when you're pulling on it, notice how like it pulls the bottom here, like it kind of pulls the bottom here and then makes this dig into your skin. The problem that I really saw with the the Best Extender ADS is how rigid it is and how uncomfortable due to its rigidity, and especially when it's like kind of digging into your skin. From this here, the material is just a lot more rigid. It's definitely more quote unquote high quality, definitely, but it's just not as comfortable, especially this design, the way that it pulls. It like digs into your leg right here, which I didn't like. This is something similar to what the Totalman, the original one, the leg band had, but because the fabric is so much softer, it just wasn't really as big of a problem. And this is something that, again, the Totalman 4 leg band actually fixes altogether by having this sort of flat surface. It has a lot bigger surface area, such that when you're pulling on it, it doesn't really dig in, and it doesn't really pull in at one specific point, so that even if you're pulling it on the top, because it's flat here, it's not letting it dig into your skin. And if anything, where the pressure is here at this section, which is pretty comfortable, right? Like you have this whole flat surface, and you might feel a tiny bit of discomfort here, if any. I really don't, especially when compared to like the Best Extender 4 ADS. So I really like this design, right? Notice how it sticks out here. It's very easy to adjust. You just basically kind of loosen this. You can adjust the leg band, and then you pull it up. Compare that to the Best Extender 4, which is like a little bit, you just might need 2 hands to do it, right? You got to pull this thing in up, and then lock it into place. This one is just a little bit, you can actually kind of do it with 1 hand, which is fine, which is better actually in my opinion. And then, you know, much better than the original one, which had this metal part, which was again uncomfortable, but you know, also it was a little easy to adjust. So that's basically the attachment point, which is to me absolutely the most critical point. So even though it has like a smaller surface area, the band by itself, the way that this little plastic piece works is like you don't even notice it. Could it be a little bit thicker for a little bit comfort? I think so. I think it could be a little bit thicker, maybe closer to the original one. But you know, this is good. Like I'm pretty sure that Totalman tried out the thicker version, and you know, he wanted to make it a little bit more ergonomic, which I actually like, right? Like less clumsy, takes up less space in my PE box, and it's still pretty comfortable. Now, so that's the biggest upside for sure. The band itself is what it is. I really wish that these leg bands started come up with these mechanisms like the Filosan Forte and the Best Extender one have, which tells you how much tension you're using based on the line, that the dot that you're in. That's freaking genius. I love it. Definitely wish that this had it. And I think we'll probably like kind of do the same mechanism, right? Where they can calculate and put on like little dots or like somehow for you to know, and then in the manual it'll tell you like how many pounds you're using. I think that'd be great, just to make sure that you're not overusing him. When you're using an older stretcher, you shouldn't really be using a whole lot of tension anyway. Now, the way that I use it is essentially I'll go ahead and use my extender for, a couple hours, maybe 3 hours these days, a lot less than I used to back in the day, just because my time is a lot more limited these days, unfortunately. And, I'm focusing more on like exercising and other things. One of the downsides, right, is it's hard to stay motivated. But I still do extending like just about at least 5 days a week. In any case, so I do the extending, and then if I need to take a nap, I usually take a nap before my workouts in the evening. So I'll take a nap. So what I'll do, and again, this is my own routine. Let me know if you want me to do a more like proper ADS routine. Sort of incorporated into a routine. But the way that I do is, first I'll use the LG hanger cup chamber with an extender. However, this is way too bulky to use as an ADS. So what I'll do is, because I'm already taped up, I like take it off, and then I'll put on the Totalman cup, which is a lot more ergonomic here. And so this is what I'll essentially use. So what I'll do is I'll throw this on and I'll take a nap for like an hour and a half before my workout, just so that I'm well rested. And that's how I use it. I'm okay like sleeping with it. I've slept with it before, but I like to have my solid sleep. And obviously having an ADS at all is just not as comfortable as not having one, right? So while I can nap, it's fine. I think like doing it all night, you would have to get used to it. I'm okay with it. I think if you know your body and you're safe with it, you can totally do it. It might hurt your nighttime erections, so keep in mind, like maybe you just want to do it a few hours and then take it off. Take some nighttime Cialis afterwards, and then so that way you can have your nighttime erections, because this might mess with it. The good thing is with something like this is you can get a nighttime erection, and it's not a problem at all. Especially the way that I teach taping is you tape and you apply the cup erect. So if you get an erection, it's really not a problem at all. And if it goes away, like your glans essentially stays at its full erect state the whole time. So that's the way that I use it. That's the way that I use, an ADS, very much for, I guess, retention, right? I mostly use it for naps. I am honestly too lazy to be using it every time I extend. I prefer to pump. So if I have a time and I really want to do retention after extending, I prefer to pump, and then that way I can avoid, I'll throw a basic girth band, a little soft cock ring here to sort of keep the elongation, keep the shape there, and that's what I prefer. So I prefer to pump to do more of a retention. But if I want to keep the extension going, and I don't want to be pumping because I want to sleep or something like that, then I'll throw this on. So in any case, that's kind of a bit of a rant as to how I use it. Again, if you want me to do an actual routine with an ADS, let me know. But I think it would be so much helpful if you can actually tell how many pounds you're using. And so that way you can compare it to things like the Filosan Forte study, for example. So another thing is, this is just for the leg. Something like the Filosan Forte, I believe you can use the band with the leg and the belly, so you can extend going up, or you can extend going down. This is only extending going down unless you're like extremely, you have to be bone thin for you to put this around your waist, right? So this is only for the leg band. That's why it's called the leg band. So it's another thing that you keep in mind. So you cannot use this on your belly. Now the downsides. So there's really only one downside that I can tell. So when compares to the best extender, ADS, the downside is that you don't have this little tension thing that tells you how much pounds you're using. That's one downside. The second downside is that you have to take off, because like this original fabric is stretchy, right? So you could literally just put it in, leave it, and then just take it back off because of the stretchiness. You didn't have to take off the Velcro and put it back on. This, you have to take it off because it doesn't stretch like at all, right? So you have to take it off. You have to like un-Velcro it and then put it on, you know, Velcro and take it off. And it's a little bit just more steps in the process of putting it on, as opposed to this. You just like slip it on, slip it off, super easy. This, you got to take it off, take it on, and it can take a couple of tries to get the right sort of fit. Which is kind of annoying, honestly. Like that's one of the things that I really liked about the original one, was the stretchiness. I kind of wonder if they can combine the two, so use like a stretchy sort of cloth like this, along with this long plastic part, and to avoid the metal part. And I don't know, I would need to try it and see how that works, but I think in my mind that would be ideal, just so that you can slip it on, take it off, and boom, you're good to go. You don't need to mess with anything. You know, you set it and forget it. Essentially, you don't have to mess with the settings each and every time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this is my leg band when I use it. Like, unfortunately I don't use the best extender one. It's just not comfortable. And this was the one that I used to use, but this is more comfortable, absolutely. So this is my the leg band that I actually use. And again, I like to, you know, praise things that I use pretty much every day. And when I have other products to choose from, this is a product that I choose on my own body, on myself, and so this is why I give it very high review. So highly recommend it. The price is right, the comfort is right, you can buy it by itself. And so yeah, keep in mind that this was sent to me for free by Totalman, but even if I would have bought it, like, I would have been extremely happy. Again, the price is right. So yeah, so there you go. So you know, I ranted a little bit about the way that I use it, but hopefully that gave you some insights into my usage. And but I don't know, it's a very solid piece of equipment that's very important. You know, I would absolutely recommend that. You know, to me, I always preach that more is more. And I agree with Mike from Totalman that you add more time before you add more tension. That way your tissues doesn't really adapt to higher tensions, because it's really hard to go after a certain tension once you've adjusted to it, unfortunately. So you know, it's much better just to sort of add time. And if you have to use an ADS, keep in mind this will also increase your flaccid length. So for those that want to increase flaccid length, this is absolutely the way to go. Absolutely, it's what I would I would recommend. So in any case, yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and move on to our final thoughts. And there you go, yet another epic product review. So as you can tell, I actually really like this product. I think it's fairly priced. It does have that one thing where, you know, you have to sort of take off the Velcro and put it back on. Literally, its only downside. I think it's for the price and compared to the best extender one, I would get the Totalman 4 as of today, just because, you know, it's more comfortable. Just basically because of the pricing, and it's actually more comfortable. So if you like this video, make sure you check out these other videos, including the best extender all-day stretcher review. If you like this video, don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Makes me motivated, helps support this channel, and that's literally all you have to do is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so you can keep up to date with the latest videos that I release on this channel. Next up, I'm going to be releasing a hog extenders beginner's guide, a best extender beginner's guide, because the Apex beginner's guide was so popular, and a lot of people just want one video where they want to see everything for a beginner's guide: how to get started, what tension to use, what scientific routine, how to get started. It's going to be more geared for newbies. Before I start, I'll put some more advanced videos, such as the vibration routine video, how to break up a Peyronie's plaque, and hopefully I hope to be getting the Phoenix device, the Soundwave device soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, so that I can get it, try it, and review it. So it's gonna be great. There's a lot of fire content coming up. So again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and check out these videos which may be relevant to you. And I'll see you next time. Peace.